I had kind of a crush on Jeff Bridges after I saw him in Starman.
I know.
You know? How do you know?
I know, because I remember he was being nominated for, well, he won the Oscar that year for,
Yeah.
it was the one before the horrible Western that you don't like.
Yeah.
What was the one that he actually won for? True Grit? No, it wasn't True Grit. Crazy Heart. Thank
Crazy
you
Heart,
very
yeah.
much.
Well, he did.
But remember at the Four Seasons, we were going out, and
Yeah.
he was there, and you turned around to me, and you said, "Percy, I'm sorry, I have to." And you left me, and you went over to Jeff.
And I went up, and I'd never met him. And as I go up and I say, I just want to say, he said, "Hi, Joan, how are you?" Very charming.
What about the first movie you ever saw?
Well, I can't remember whether it was The Bluebird with Shirley Temple, which I think was in black and white and then turned into color, which was an amazing thing, and I was really very young then. Or Bambi, which I saw the other day and made me cry again as much as it did. One of the most, I don't like cartoons, and I remember seeing it as a child and thinking how wonderful this film was. It was an amazing film. I even remember where I saw it. It was a cinema on Regent Street, which I don't think exists anymore. I think it's Ralph Lauren now or something like that. So it was on the other day on television, and I thought, well, I never watch cartoons, I think, and I put it on, and it was just as wonderful as it was when I saw it when I was a kid.
It was amazing to go back into the room, and all of a sudden I find you in a puddle of tears because Bambi has now become the mother.
I know.
Right, and
It's a beautiful
Everybody
film.
knows what happened to Bambi's mother, and
Yeah.
we won't talk about it right now because it hurts a bit still.
And then afterwards, shortly after that, another one that I remember very well, and I remember actually queuing up to see this one in Brighton, because we were evacuated to Brighton, was Yankee Doodle Dandy with James Cagney. And of course, I remember even then, as a little child, that amazing dance he did with those feet. And in actual fact, I didn't work with James Cagney, but I did appear on the stage with him in something called Night of 1,000 Stars, or was it Night of 100 Stars?
100, yeah, it was.
Night of 100.
Inflation now makes it 1,000, but
Night of 100 Stars in New York, 100 years ago. Anyway, that was a really good film. And then from then on, it was all I could do was go to the movies as often as possible and write off to movie stars as many times as I possibly could, and just get those autographed pictures coming through the letterbox. It was really exciting, and I remember, who did I get? I got people that you wouldn't even remember. Peggy Ryan, Donald O'Connor, Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly sent me one. John Payne, who was my favorite, because he was in all those Betty Grable, Carmen Miranda films that I loved. Springtime in the Rockies, Down Argentina Way, and all those wonderful color musicals. John Payne never sent me an autograph picture. It's a bit like Red Buttons never had a dinner.
never had a dinner. Exactly. But who was it that took you to the cinema? Who in your family was in love with the cinema?
It was my mother who took me to the cinema. She loved the movies. She actually, her favorite actresses were Greer Garson and Lana Turner. And in fact, she looked a little bit like both of them. She particularly liked Greer Garson. And I didn't see Mrs. Miniver. It wasn't, the kind of thing I wanted to see. I only saw musicals or comedies. Bob Hope.
Yeah.
Bob Hope, I saw a Bob Hope film that was probably the scariest thing I'd ever seen. It was with, and I remember where it was. It was the Dominion Tottenham Court Road, and it was Bob Hope and Paulette Goddard in, does anybody know the name of the film? Because I can't remember it. The Cat and the Canary. Gosh, that was so scary.
Give this man another ticket for the next show.
And all of Bob Hope films I loved. So when I worked with Bob Hope, you know, sometime later in the road to Hong Kong, I was the gushing fan. You know, I thought, you know, I loved you so much, Mr. Hope. You were so wonderful. Yeah.
It's, Bob Hope famously got asked, who wants to be 94? And he said, somebody who's 93.
Yes. No, that was Billy Wilder, wasn't it? Billy
No, was
Wilder.
it?
Yeah. Another person who, well, as I graduated from musicals, and they became more sophisticated, with Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra in Anchors Away, and the wonderful one with Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor. It's a famous Singing in the Rain. I mean, one of the greatest movies ever made, I think. I've seen it probably 15 times. I just see movies over. People say to me, oh, did you see so-and-so on television? I said, no. Well, what did you do? I said, I watched Double Indemnity again for the 15th time. I'd much rather see a movie that I've seen
Well, but
over
there's a
and
lot
over
of
again.
modern movies that you're in love with as
Yes,
well. I mean,
well, no.
last year, one of your new
Yes.
classic favorites was...
The one with the two of them dancing.
Yes,
Just
La La
forgotten.
Land.
La La Land. I love La La Land. I think I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think the critics were kind of unkind to it, really, because they said, well, they're not Gene Kelly and Sid Charisse. No, they're not.
And
They're
I
very
often-
good actors who are doing a really good job.
I often see you pausing, you know, when you're flipping through channels endlessly. And I can't catch up to, like, what, just pick something. You stop at, like, Gangs of New York, which
Oh,
you,
yes.
you thought was brilliant.
A fantastic
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. And The Fugitive, of course.
The Fugitive,
We've seen,
easily
well, and that's not
watchable.
such a modern film.
No, but
Actually, all
for me
of-
it is.
Yeah, all of Arnold Copelson's films, who's a friend of ours,
Yeah.
the producer Arnold Copelson, he made 13 movies, and he gave us the whole set of 13, and they were all
Amazing.
wonderful.
Platoon,
Yes. really good.
The Fugitive, Air Force One.
Air Force One, and did he do? No, he didn't.
The one about the Ebola virus, the one with Dustin Hoffman, where he just kind of goes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, thank you.
We've watched that about 10 times. No, the first time I watch a movie, I watch it for the whole event. I just get completely involved in the film. I don't watch anything specifically. The second time I watch it, I'll watch the particular actors and how they are. And the third or fourth time, I start watching the people in the background. And, you know, maybe the horse, what's the horse doing in the background of a Western? Because I don't really like Westerns. I don't think I've ever seen one Western I liked, have I?
Yes. Well, my favorite, The Magnificent Seven, but
Yeah.
you know, you,
No, I don't know.
um,
I like...
there was one Western you liked. Anyway,
Can't remember it, no.
what brought us to The Fabulous Baker Boys? Why did, out of all those movies, why The Fabulous Baker
It was very difficult when they asked me, what is your favorite film? What meant a lot to you? I thought, you know, Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, Singing in the Rain, Casablanca. I mean, for my birthday a few years ago, Percy cleverly found out my 100 favorite movies, and he bought me everyone in a DVD. So I have them all in the bookcase, all the DVDs, and I've seen them all a million times.
Actually, it's on the Apple TV as well, but you can't work that one.
No, I'm not very
But-
technical. So the thing about The Fabulous Baker Boys, I love films about relationships. I do not like gunfights, blood, people being stabbed or shot. I don't like seeing operations. I don't like a lot of graphic sex, you know.
Yeah.
And I really like to see people getting involved with each other. And I had kind of a crush on Jeff Bridges after I saw him in Starman.
I know.
You know? How do you know?
I know, because I remember when he was being nominated for, well, he
Oh,
won
yeah.
the Oscar that year for,
Yeah.
it was the one before the horrible Western that you don't like.
Yeah, I know.
What
yeah.
was the one that he actually won for? True Grit? No, it wasn't True Grit. Crazy Heart. Thank
Crazy
you
Heart,
very
yeah.
much.
Well, he did.
But but remember at the Four Seasons, we were going out, and
Yeah.
he was there, and you turned around to me, and you said, "Percy, I'm sorry, I have to." And you left me, and you went over to Jeff.
And I went up, and I'd never met him. And as I go up and I say, I just want to say, he said, "Hi, Joan, how are you?" Very charming.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and that was probably because of that, because of Starman and a couple of other things that I saw him in. And I just thought that he was, and Michelle Pfeiffer had the best chemistry together, the best erotic, sensual, don't touch me, but I really fancy you kind of thing
Yeah, yeah.
that I've ever seen in any movie. And that's why every time I watch it, I watch that relationship between them grow from the first time she comes in to do her audition, and she says, "I guess I'm too late." And he's there with a cigarette, and you know he's casing her, and he sees her, and he kind of thinks she's...
Well, we
cute
should
as-
ask one question.
Oh, yes.
How many people have seen the Fabulous Baker Boys? Okay, the rest of you might want to walk out now while we're
No.
talking.
Well, how many of you
Just
haven't
cover your
seen?
ears.
Oh, good. Oh, good. There's lots that haven't seen. Sorry, cover your ears. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but so I mean, spoiler alert, because we're talking about a
No,
few.
this is not spoiling. I'm not talking about the ending, which always makes me cry.
Oh, the ending.
Oh, no, please, no, no, Oscar, cut back. The beginning is classic. I mean, the most beautiful girl lying in bed, half naked, and this guy in his, tuxedo getting up, and obviously it's dawn.
But we
Spent
won't
the
give you
night.
the punchline.
Okay. No, I'm going to give
But
you
it's
the
great.
punchline.
It's a good punchline.
It's
I mean,
great.
no, but Jeff is so cool.
He
in
is
this
the
movie.
coolest of the cool.
Yeah.
And when he smokes cigarettes, and when Beau, his brother Frank, says, "You smoke so much. You smoke. Your hair smells of smoke. The dog smells of smoke. Your suit smells of smoke." And he looks and he says, "Frank, do you have a problem?" And it's just like as he blows out yet another bunch of smoke. Anyway, this
But-
is the whole thing about this film. It is a perfect film.
Yeah.
She is superb, Michelle Pfeiffer. Her singing, making whoopee on the piano,
Brilliant.
which
Is
she
one of the
apparently
best scenes.
One of the best musical numbers I've ever seen. And apparently, she worked and rehearsed for months. Because
Yeah.
she's not a singer, but all of her
Indeed.
songs are. It's a great soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah.
You can buy the soundtrack of the Fabulous.
It
Baker
is her
Boys.
own voice in
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah.
It is them actually playing in the movie.
Yes.
There is nothing fake about
No.
this movie.
No. Even the fight.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Even the fight.
Yeah.